Job was a great man. He was a man of integrity, loved the Lord and stayed away from evil. He was also a wealthy man, had many servants, cattle and sheep and donkeys and camels. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. One day, Satan came before the Lord at a time when all the other angels were there. The Lord said, "Where have you been?" "Oh, just going here and there around the earth." The Lord said, "Have you noticed my servant Job? He's a man of integrity, stays away from evil." Well, of course he does. He has found that it's a good deal being righteous. You protect him and everything he owns. You bless him and give him anything he wants. Take away his possessions. He'll curse you to your face. The Lord said, "Let's see. You can take his possessions, but you cannot touch him." Soon after that, a servant ran up and said, a group of thugs came along and they stole all your cattle and your donkeys. They killed the servants, and I'm the only one that lived, and I came here to tell you what happened. And while he was still talking, another servant ran up and said, "A violent storm came and lightning struck and killed all of your sheep and servants. I'm the only one that lived, and I've come to tell you what happened." And while he was still talking, another servant ran up and said, "An army came and took all of your camels and servants. I escaped. I came here to tell you what happened." And while he was still talking, a servant ran up and said, "All of your sons and daughters were in a house having a meal. A tornado came and destroyed the house and killed them all. I escaped and came to tell you what happened." Job cried out. He ripped his clothes and fell down in grief. He shaved his head. And then finally, he bowed his head and said, "I came into this world naked, and I will leave naked. The Lord gives, the Lord takes away. I will praise the name of the Lord." Satan came before the Lord at a time when other angels were there. The Lord said, "Where have you been?" "Oh, just going here and there across the earth." "Have you noticed my servant Job? He's a man of integrity, stays away from sin, even though you had me destroy him without cause." Satan said, "Well, you didn't let me touch his skin. Man will do anything for his life. Hit his flesh and bones, and he'll curse you to your face." The Lord said, "Let's see. You may strike him, but you cannot take his life." Soon after that, Job was struck with boils from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. He sat down on a heap of ashes, and he took a piece of pottery and started scraping the pus off of his skin. His wife looked at him and said, "Are you going to keep your integrity after all that has happened to you? Curse God and die." Job said, Oh, you're talking foolishly. I will accept whatever God gives me, whether it's good or bad. And with all of this, Job did not sin or blame God. Three friends heard about what happened to Job. They came, and as soon as they saw them, they yelled out, threw dust in the air. Then they sat with him and didn't say anything for 7 days. At the end of that time, Job yelled, "I wish I had never been born." Well, his friends, took this opportunity to try to help him to understand what was happening to him. The first friend said, "Righteous people don't suffer like this. Only sinners do." Well, Job agreed with that, but couldn't recall doing anything to deserve this. The second friend was a little bit more bold. He said, "Job, you're a hypocrite. You need to confess your sins, and then God will have mercy upon you." Job again said that he was innocent. Then he went on to say, I remember seeing a time when evil people prospered while righteous people suffered. The third friend was the most bold of all. He said, "Job, you're a liar. You're an ungodly person. You deserve this punishment." Job was emphatic. "I'm innocent." About that time, a young man came by with a different perspective. He wanted to encourage Job and said, "Well, even though it's true that God is using this suffering to correct your sin, He also wants to restore you to righteousness." Suddenly, the Lord talked to Job. He said, "Oh, Job, my ways are so far above your ways. There's no way you can understand. You can't even imagine how I created the entire universe. My purpose for suffering is an individual matter with each person. Listen, I have always been with you. I know what's going on with you. My purpose for you is that you come to the end of yourself and totally trust in me." The Lord then turned to Job's friends, said, "I'm angry with you. None of you have spoke the truth. Only Job spoke the truth. You're to have a burnt sacrifice and then ask Job if he would pray for you." The Lord blessed Job, gave him twice as much as he had before. He had twice as much cattle, sheep, twice as many donkeys and camels. He even got 7 more sons and 3 more daughters. Job lived to be an old man. He died at 140 years old, having lived a full life.